his feet. It is caught by Tyree.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. We're finally here. This is it. Catch the moment. And I finally got some company, man. And guess what? This doesn't take too much. This is, you talk about a moment. Mr. Can't Wait himself. You see him everywhere, all over the place. ESPN, Bart, family. We're here. What's good, Bart?
I appreciate it, man. It's all good, man. People can change, right? We can build bridges. You got a Jet and a Giant sitting in the same location, and we ain't fighting about nothing.
We ain't got nothing to fight about.
What time? We all good. What's up?
We might start a little skirmish a little later, but hey, there's so many different layers, right? Well, Catch the Moment, what we're really trying to do is, man, you've been successful on so many different levels, right? Unfolding, unpacking a little bit of the, just the process, the journey, the pain points. But I had to think about it. I was looking at, got to do light research. We don't go crazy, right? We fan.
My hack Wikipedia page.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Just light research, but the most intriguing thing, right? From Detroit.
Yeah, from the D.
From the D, right? And, interesting article was the background of you being raised amongst a lot of women. So talk to me about that. I actually grew up in a house full of women. My mom and two sisters.
Yeah, man.
So tell me how that shaped your ass and thoughts.
I tell you what, there's a lot of estrogen in the house, right? And you understand that, I tell you what, growing up with women, you learn your place real quick, right? It's like the lioness, right? They're really the real hunters, right?
Yeah.
They only get up every once in a while, but the women, the lioness are really the real hunters, man. And, I was sculpted and molded by women, right? Women have a tremendous balance of being able to check you, but also have that tender, loving care, right?
Yeah.
Have that empathy for you. Not the youngest sister, not the middle child. The middle child is rogue, right? In every family, there's a woman.
What is that?
Yeah. So, growing up with that, just learning and understanding women, right? And hearing them talk and have conversations, let me understand where the disconnect is, right? You're talking about men are from Mars, and women from Venus, and we're flip-flop however it goes. But it was a great experience. Within that story, my grandmother had 7 children. She just recently passed. We belated the rest, December 11th. No, it was a life well spent, right? We talk about 85 years on this earth.
Yeah.
She's responsible for over 130 people, right? So you talk about the tree of life, right? 7 kids, each one of those 7 kids had 3 kids. Each one of those 3 kids had 3 kids. And when you go down the list, it's about 130 of us that all spawned from her offspring.
Yeah.
But you talk about the women, the strength, right? Everybody understands, especially within the African-American community.
Absolutely.
Not that the men aren't strong. I feel like we're doing a better job of that, right? Being present in our kids' lives. Because a lot of us from our generation, not myself in particular, I don't know your story, but come from that house that was led by the woman.
Mm-hmm.
And when our generation grew up, we wanted to give our kids what we didn't have, and that was the presence of a father.
That's right.
Right? A lot of times in our community, the fathers and the male influences are the football coaches, the basketball coaches.
Right.
It's not actually family, maybe a cousin or something like that. So, I was fortunate enough to be raised by women, but we grew up on our block, and it's my grandmother, the same woman I'm talking about, that's responsible for all these beautiful people. 7 of them on that block, we hold 7 houses.
Wow.
So the story is she raised 3 generations. Her second son passed shortly after the war. And I had 3 cousins that were living in California that had no idea about this family over here.
Yeah.
She went and adopted them, and they went instantly for it just being the 3 of them to growing up in a place where it was 25 people on one block that was her family. And the other families were the same way, because my grandmother moved here from Alabama. She was born in 1938.
Yeah.
She bought that house with my grandfather in 1950. She's been on that block, so she's like the unofficial mayor. But there was other families on that block that had been there for 20, 30, 40 years that had 7 kids, right? And it just goes. So even though we had a whole 2 city blocks in Detroit, it was only 12, 15 different families. So even though it was 40 houses on that block, right? But his family was full with families and families.
Right.
So it really was a village, right? Even though growing up in Detroit, in the heart of the drug and gang epidemic, talk about the 1980s.
That's what I heard, like syringes on field.
Oh yeah, man, you find all kind of stuff. Growing up, then it's like such a legacy there, right? And that place will always be home, even though I reside here.
Yeah.
You know, when we go back, and you know, the high school is probably maybe only 10-minute walk, right? Maybe only a 4-minute ride to the high school. But every year we don't, you know, we love hood rat school, right? We thugged out. But there we don't have the student body that's organized enough to be able to have school reunions, class reunions.
Okay.
But what we do have is we have a school picnic every year. And it's an amazing thing, and it's a special thing that keeps me grounded. When I go back there, my mother's at the picnic with me. You know, class of 68. My sister's there, class of 89. So actively, we have representation all throughout there. And the beauty and the crazy thing is, when all those family members, we still have family members in that school, when they walk around that track and they show, you know, because we have it on the football field and we have it in the outskirts around the school.
Yeah.
I feel proud that when they look up, the arena says Bart Scott Stadium.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's like life coming full circle.
Beautiful.
And I tell people all the time, like, what's built lasts longer than what's born. Right? And I love the fact that I'm able to go back there and be able to show them there's nothing special about me. I'm not the biggest. I'm not some. It's not like I'm J.O. or something like that, or you know, some physically 6'9" where it's like, oh, he was destined for greatness.
Yeah.
I always say it all the time. What's built lasts longer than what's born. Some of us are born to be great, but you have to build it yourself to be great to be able to have longevity.
There you go.
And I love the fact that I'm not some massive guy, some 6'7" guy, because much like Steph Curry, not putting myself in Steph Curry.
That's all good.
Not to put myself in that category. What I'm saying is that shows you that greatness comes in every shape and size.
Absolutely.
So if a kid is looking at me and saying, man, I'm taller than him, I'm bigger than him, yeah, that gets their attention that they can strive for greatness too. Absolutely. And it doesn't come in a David and Goliath,
that's right,
a Goliath type of format. David is just as important. Well,
come on,
that's right.
Absolutely.
David is just as powerful and impactful as Goliath is.
That's fire, bro. Your story is home. I was thinking about, you know, like, it's for whatever reason, I always found myself vibing, you know, like Detroit, you know, Detroit people, Jersey, Detroit. Did you? So like club music was crazy. House music, right? So that's a real thing.
Time for the first lady.
Time for the first couple. So I'm like, man, me and Bart like second cousins, and real. He over here in Jersey living it up.
I don't know what a lot of my uncles be doing. I don't know what they been doing these streets, you know. the family members. I'm telling you, I bet you over at Nam. There's a bunch of people look like me over at Nam. My dad's up probably out there wild.
Yeah, man. So we growing up, obviously, you know, you're probably a little older than me, but you know, for that '80s era. Mm-hmm. So you know, another peculiar thing. I'm like, I'm thinking about the Simpsons, right?
Yeah.
Like, was there any other Black Bart? Like, I think when Black Bart came out,
the cowboy. You got Black Bart the cowboy. Listen, that's why my gun's always loaded. You know what I mean? Because of course the easiest thing, it was old Bart Fart, of course Bart Simpson. Brother, that's all you got for me, son.
Yeah.
You got to come a lot more than that to get them jokes. But oddly enough, my dad's name is Bartholomew. My name was Bart. This is the dumbest thing in the world. I don't have to, right? Hey, yo, Dad, why you name me Bart and your name Bartholomew? Name me Bart because they thought it'd be hard to spell. Like, hold up, bro. If you're the dumbest kid in the world, I don't care how this dumb kid is, the first thing you know how to spell is your name. It don't matter. Like,
we're going to get that right.
Like, because you can go to African families, so it's like African families. We've all played with Nigeria. They got like 37 names. They can spell, I can spell. Damn, way to set the expectations for my life real low. Like, oh, yeah, hopefully he can spell his damn name. Like, come on. Barthol. Like, anybody can remember that. But anyway, so I grew up, my dad's name was Bartholomew. I made my firstborn have to bear that cross if I had the name, walk around. For one thing I know about Bartholomew.
Yeah.
The name, put on application. When I step in the door, before I get there, they have no idea whether I'm black or white. You know what I'm saying?
I love it.
You know how it is with all them 80s names.
Deontay,
Devontae. You know, everybody Jodeci did. People try to name after cars, Porsche,
Strip club, you know.
Yeah, Diamond. Ultimate 7. Now, come on, you better be rich if you name your child 7.
Come on.
You got Gwyneth Paltrow, you better be rich.
Yeah, Eli out here bugging me.
Rich, you know what I'm saying? That's legacy.
No question.
As long as you got Manny at the end, you good. You don't even need no money around here. Like, Eli kids don't have to spend nothing because what his daddy did.
Come on, bro.
So
Talk about that legacy.
yeah, so I think that, growing up Bartholomew, but,
Yeah.
I asked my dad also, like, well, why is my name Bartholomew? Because it's a biblical name. Like, well, why did your dad name you Bartholomew?
Yeah.
His dad name was Titus. My dad's brother's name is Walter and Baldwin. I'm like, that makes no sense.
Well,
They got a biblical name, we got Walter and Baldwin. Like,
I got some clean, crisp.
yeah, but he said his dad named him a biblical name like him because he thought that he was going to be special. Right? And he said maybe my dad foresaw the future because he's modest. I'm not special. You're
the one.
You're the one.
Yeah.
So maybe he manifested it in me, like his grandfather. Maybe like when he had that vision, that little Nostradamus moment. Maybe it skipped a generation.
Listen, every life is a seed, man. His life was a seed that produced fruit, man, through Bart Scott.
But I feel like I need to do this.
Yeah, bro. So that's what we doing, man. So obviously, like I said, you came from, like I hate the overused terms, but they're real, right? You came from the adversity, you came from environment, like I said, you had community, right? But I think when you like you're one of the people, and it's like, hey, man, you come from Detroit. People have low expectations sometimes.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think sometimes we get that when people talk about our language, people talk about the way we speak or communicate. Oh, like,
God, you speak so well. What the heck? First of all, what the hell does that mean? Just like a black athlete, you're black. When you speak so, what the hell? What?
Well, you know what? I tell people, I said, as dumb as it is and sounds, there's this small part of me that actually understands, because when you're less educated, historically, then you have the propensity to speak all kinds of different ways.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's what makes black people dope, because we're so dope that whatever way we spit it, it ends up being the movement.
And being quick.
So
I was listening to this thing from Denzel Washington, right? To kind of talk about, environment.
yeah.
Right? So if you take an oak tree seed, right? And you plant it in a pot, it'll never grow to be the great oak tree that it's supposed to be.
There you go.
If you put it in fertile soil and give it room to grow, it'll become the massive, beautiful tree that it's supposed to be. And so it doesn't matter where the seed comes from. The seed can come from Detroit. The seed can come from Jersey. The seed can come from Compton. It can come from the hood. But it's about where you plant it. It's about giving it room to grow. So yeah, I grew up in Detroit, but I grew up in fertile soil because I'm surrounded by love and family. So it don't matter. So I was protected. People knew it was going to be a tough out.
Yeah.
If you messed with it, So backstory, my mother's maiden name is Pippin. Okay. Scott isn't my dad's last name. It's actually my mother's first husband married name.
God.
So she wanted all her kids to have the same last name. So that's why my name is Scott. But actually, my dad's name is Capers. My mom and my dad was never married.
Got it.
So you go to the root name of our family, it's Pippin. It's supposed to be related to Scottie Pippen. The whole family. So growing up, it was the Pippin boys.
Wow.
And the thing is, because so many of us that walk around like Bebe's kids, they could never really realize who we were by our last name, but they knew our features.
Okay.
No, you look like a Pippin. You one of them Pippins?
We owe you.
Oh, shucky ducky. And so anyway, with that being said, I had older cousins, different generations of us. Like I said, it was seven women, or 7 kids, 3 kids from each one. That's 21. Each one of them had 21. That's 63. Right? But it was waves of us. So if you messed with one, it was time to slow. If the lower ones couldn't handle it, we go to the bigger one. So even growing through all the gang environment, the drug environment,
It was protected with
exactly. And kind of like the golden child with me, they recognized early on that, listen, sometimes you got to put the pause. I had to put the pause on. I had to Will Smith a couple people, you know what I'm saying? But that's just what it is. That builds you up. You know what I'm saying? That's really where the bad backers were created, was right there. You know what I'm saying? Get to the league, like, what I had to deal with.
There you go. Yeah. See, it was the same. Like my older sister, when she was like one of the few straight out of high school goes in the Marines. So I had bullies. Like my sisters were determined that I wasn't going to be the punk.
Yeah.
And it was just that simple. And I appreciate that so much. You know, like I said, my dad was right. Come on, boy, you know how it is, bro. I was a dude calling him a big. You know what I'm saying? I'm walking around like, you know, and I paid the price. You know, I took some major lumps. You know,
Scarface was good for you. You know what I'm saying?
Come on,
son. You got hit on the field. Like, man, come on, man. What's the punch me in the back of my head before? I got hit with a book. You ain't going to touch, but this is nothing.
So one thing, obviously, so that shapes young Bart. Obviously, you know, you got coaches, mentors that began to create the hunger in relation to the sport. Nothing came easy. It looks like, right? Like,
no.
Obviously, no Division I.
Whatever could go wrong went wrong.
What were some of the reasons where you're part? Like now, as you're mature, were you a part of the problem at any level? Obviously, like you got a unique personality, whereas you're very intelligent, but you scrappy this.
Well, my dad always taught me to challenge what I'm taught. Like, don't just believe what you're taught when you've been taught just because somebody tells you. You have to do your own research. You got to verify. So growing up, I always had that type of adversarial type of personality that if a teacher says something, I was always taught to stand up for myself. And that's something powerful and sometimes reckless because it's like giving a kid power and you embolden them. And sometimes you may not use it. You have to learn how to use it. So if teachers say something I agree with, no, I'm not doing that. Right? And they're like, hold up, you a kid. Like, so yeah, you authority, I respect you, but I'm not listening to what you say.
Not easy.
Right? So I got a couple of trouble before I can remember. I went to school back in the day when you got pedo. Right? By coach.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Coach Drake beat the brakes on it. It is from our town, so it's funny. But I wanted that practice. Like we sit there and listen. Remember, I grew up in the hood, so like it was only 24 of us on the team.
Yeah.
You really go both ways. The first time I ever said
24.
Yeah, the first time I ever saw a bench in my life was in college. I never left the field ever in my life. I just turned around.
Yeah.
Like,
same here.
So growing up like that, like they were building men, and like my defensive coordinator coach was in the military, so he had no empathy for nobody, right? Like we ran a mile before practice, then we went to the curves, and we would have the back pedal 200s, right?
Full metal jacket.
And come back. Then we go over there, and we had a bench about this high, and you couldn't blow you up to the whistle. You have to jump over it into like a minute.
Yeah.
Then the next group up. Then you go to the goal line. You have to do 10. Listen, it's crazy. This has been, 30 years ago. I still remember.
Yeah.
We had to still jump at the goalpost. And then jog an hour. Then jog the 100 yards. We do that 5 times. Then we start practice.
Yeah.
Man, what? Like, who wants some smoke? Like,
the person had to pay just to play football, right? You had to pay dues just to actually play the game.
Tired talent, right? So like, I was always taught to challenge, what I was, taught.
Yeah.
I had a walkout in high school. We had a substitute teacher. Substitute teacher come in, they don't really care what you're doing. But in this particular instance, we had our typing teacher was sick. Typing, that's how old I am, right?
Yeah.
Type. The kids don't even know. Typewriters, one of these things you push, it snaps on the paper. If you mess up, you got to put real white out. It's no correct time. So we had to type our papers. This dude come in and like he would just give us math problems every day. Every day, this dude give us math problems. This is typing class.
Typing.
So he gives us, and like this is how he determined your grade for the day. You got 2 minutes. You go. And if you get 80, it's like 100. They're all easy, 2 + 2, 4. First of all, like it's stupid, but if you get 80 of them right, that's a B. 70 blood. So every day, this is what we do. Like, this is not even what we're supposed to do. So I tell the class, listen, dude, come here with that bull. Can I cuss on it? No, I won't cuss. No. He come on this bull crap.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Come on this bull crap. We leave it. So he come in, have other little stuff so he can sit back there, put his feet up, move side. Don't have to work, don't have to teach, don't have to educate. But he been there for like 3 weeks now.
I got you.
And, we won. So as soon as he did that, I swear to God, I don't know how I had this power. I don't know why they listened to me. I was like, So he put it out like, we out. Everybody got up and walked. He's like, who do you think you are?
Bro, you had a Malcolm X moment.
Yeah. Like, we got up, stood up, like, left turn, right turn, walked out. Like, peace, right? So like at this point, the principal come like, "What are you guys doing?"
Yeah.
Right, of course, tell everybody to go back in. Send me to the office. Right, I got a game. You know what I'm saying? But like now they say, "Oh, we're going to suspend him. You can't go to the game. He's created a mass walkout, disturbed, whatever." So like they was like, "We can't really suspend him because we need him to play the game."
Yeah.
So we're going to give it to his coach. So my coach comes there. I've never got penalty in my life. Because I've always been a good kid. I never got in trouble. I had good grades. I never got in trouble.
Yeah.
He comes there with like straight up, like school days, pal. Like, so it's like the flood playing like
Buddy, I
baseball.
forgot his name.
Yeah. And he from Arkansas. So he like, Negro, you done lost your damn mind.
Yes.
Who the hell you think you are? Martin Luther King, Malcolm X? Bring your ass over.
Yes. Real one, bro.
So he hit me 2 times, bam, bam, whatever. It was like, saying, ah. But the funny thing, I watched him whoop one of my teammates. And this is crazy, though. This is what we used to let our coach whoop. But he's one of the best men I've ever met in my life, ever known in my life.
It's great that you can see both sides, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, that was a part of the paradigm. Like,
Yeah. Yo, his wife was my science teacher in 4th grade. She paddled me, too. She had a ping pong paddle that was like acrylic click.
Probably a better man.
Yeah. But so yeah, I am. So every once in a while, you know, I'm a habitual line stepper. I got to get checked and get pulled back. But if I respect you, you can check me. If not, when we get later in the story, I'll tell you when I didn't respect you and the check came and it was a whole different. But I respect them, right? So yeah, so I did that. And I've always been told to be to challenge what I've been taught. So sometimes it's been the best trait, sometimes it's been the worst trait. I'm just not going to accept it because you say that's what it is. So,
but that's the
got to verify.
That's the learning ground, man. That's really how we evolve, with how we're growing. We're talking about being young, young teenager,
You discover yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's something that you're constantly, I've been part of NFL. We're part of the NFL community. We're looking at young men, and that's something that always we're losing sight of because of the influence that these guys have.
Yeah.
And so they're being penalized for being immature, right? More times than they are for being, what do we want to call them?
How many people have it figured out
There we go.
at 20 years old, right? Just imagine what a professional athlete, a young entertainer has to go through.
Yep.
You're 21, 22, 23 years old. You're responsible to take care of village because none of us take care of ourselves. You have to make an estate plan, a will and trust, and start planning out your death and retirement before you've even made 30 years old. Meanwhile, we got people that's 40, 50 years old that's going to retire at 60 that hasn't did their estate plan, will and trust, put those things in place. So you expect us to be able to understand that as we're evolving? Most of our parents were still smoking weed and going out to their version of Coachella, Woodstock back in the day.
That's
talking about live free and love life. But they forget that's what they were. They forgot that they were talking about drug addicts. They were drug addicts. But the friend of the day.
Shout out to the boomers. They were out of power.
My dad told me one time, he said, "No, my dad loved me to death. Look at what I got to do." He told me, he said, "No," and dude like, lick your tongue out. First of all, grown man tell me lick my tongue out. Like, yo, first of all, 5 things to the face. We Will Smith and you right there on site. He said, lick your tongue. This dude put some LSD on his tongue.
Oh, how?
So first of all, I don't want to hear nothing about our generation. That generation was on another one.
They would lose.
Come on, man. Studio 54.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
Oh, absolutely.
Stop it. Like,
I know it all. We like I said, I grew up under it, man. Boomers let it fly.
yeah, but they forget.
Yeah, and the
criticize.
we were recovering, right? We would act the recovering like, oh my God, I'm divorced, I'm lonely. Keep a real generation, of course, emerging hip hop, all that, man.
We y'all babies, right? We y'all babies. We the manifestation of what y'all did, what y'all didn't do. But don't act like y'all was perfect. You know what I'm saying? Every once in a while, I go over in the hood. I hear some comments. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I hear some comments by my aunties. I'm like, auntie, what was you doing back in the 80s? They talking real reckless about you, auntie. I didn't even know I need to verify. You know what I'm saying? I was wondering how you got this kid and that kid. You was all okay.
Yeah.
Okay, hold up. Oh, so don't be talking about these young fast girls here, but you was the fastest.
Absolutely. So, boom. So obviously your career progresses. You're at Southern Illinois.
Yeah.
Like I said, especially at the top.
What's supposed to be there though? supposed to be at Michigan State. See, but that's a whole nother story. You got to do like listen, if you gonna talk, if you're telling me you got to do like a Roots documentary, like it got to be a 4-part series. You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna figure this out.
Yeah,
We're gonna chop it up.
Supposed to be at Michigan State. So committed to Michigan State as a junior. Was a All-American as a junior. Continued that all blue chip All-American, all that stuff as a senior. Never really been out of Michigan before. We take tremendous pride in Michigan and like staying local, right? And being around people. So I committed as a junior, actually to Nick Saban at the time.
That was my years as well.
Yeah, so I committed there. And what happened was, because I went to the inner city, schools, counselor and leadership and guidance was not something that was a strong suit.
Yep.
It's been one person, a couple people maybe before me that went professional or went to college from my school, but my school at one point had the highest dropout rate in the country, right? So committed there, but never knew that I had to take a test to get in. Didn't know, right? So meanwhile, I'm an All-American as a junior. Get to my senior year, my coach says, "Hey man, it's this test you got to take." I'm like, "All right, I'm gonna sign you up for it."
Yeah.
Oh, don't know nothing about the test. I just show up, take the test. They're like, "You have 5 minutes." I'm like, "What? This is a timer test?" Didn't know. Of course, didn't pass it, right? But it's not because I didn't have the ability to pass it, right? I was a 3.4, 3.3 student in that range. So I was an A/B student. So it's not like it was
That's sliding scale. All you need is the low boy.
They just didn't tell me. So what happened was Michigan State saw that I didn't pass my test and they pulled my scholarship.
Man.
So I took the next test. I don't know, blowing me up. I thought I had it on with. So I took the next test, which was the SAT. Passed that, was fine. But that gave my test away.
Got it.
So whatever. So now I'm scrambling, didn't know, right? And I go to at this point I got my I committed to a school really late. Went to the All-Star game, which is held at Michigan State.
Got it.
Set a record for tackles in the game. All of a sudden, Bobby Williams at the time come with this brother stuff. You know what I'm saying? Where was you at, brother, when I pulled my scholarship, right? So he come with that. And I told them in every nice way.
Let's kiss.
Right. Yeah. All that, right? So like now I go back, and when I was there, it was a guy there like, "Yo, this dude ain't got no scholarship."
Wow.
So he calls Southern Illinois like, "Yo, man, offer this guy right now." He was a famous quarterback for the Dan Enos.
Okay.
He was a fan. He ended up coaching Central Michigan later but he was coaching at Southern Illinois. He had just left. And they offered me a scholarship blindly. This is how naive I was. I had no idea what D1AA was. Never heard of it before.
Got it.
Right? Because every place that ever tried to recruit me was Michigan State, like
Big boys.
Florida, although I had no idea. I had nobody, my sisters and stuff didn't go to college.
Yeah.
So they offered me the scholarship, and I was like, all right, I'll take it. Didn't know what color the schools were. They sent me a VHS to give me a tutorial about what the school was and what the colors were and where. Did you know that Carbondale, Illinois is more southern than St. Louis? Did you know Illinois go all the way down there? Yeah. Paducah, Kentucky is 45 minutes.
Paducah, I know somebody.
But to Paducah is east of me, not north, east. I drive this way to go to Paducah, Kentucky. I drive this way to go to Missouri. I drive this way to go to St. Louis. Chicago was five hours up. So I get there, right? So all of a sudden people start realizing that I'm available.
Yeah.
Like, yo, what do you mean you off? So that's what University of Oklahoma calls me. Oklahoma State, like, yo, full scholarship. But I committed to this school. I don't even know where it is. Never heard of it. But my father told me something a long time ago. He said the only thing a man has in life is his word. So Ohio been
So he bound you up to that.
Yeah. So his words. Like, the thing is, when you leave and when our kids leave, I hope that it has the same effect. I believe that it's true. I can't verify. When you leave the nest, the words of your parents like ring out, because those what you use, those are voices that you hear. You have to make a decision. When you're with your parents, they make the decisions for you, so you lean on them, so we act like we're incapable.
That's right.
But when you're by yourself, everything that they taught you, all the training kicks in.
It is.
Right? So like, yo, all a man has is his word.
That's
right? And you don't break it for nobody. So they're like, listen, son, like Kansas, listen, son, I appreciate what you're trying to do. This ain't apples to apples. And I went with my heart. Because I'm like, here's a place that took a chance on me without knowing me.
Yeah. When it looked like I was there.
Yeah, and I just committed to him, and now like I'm like, so I went down there, I was like, I was gonna give him a year. They were already in camp.
Yeah.
I went there. We always got these aha moments. I went there for a year, and I was going to transfer like after a year.
Yeah.
I made like all conference, all state. I'm like, man, I'm 17 years old.
Shine,
going to work, killing. I'm saying, going
Killing
to work, man. I felt like Ed Reed in college until I realized that Ed Reed was 24 years old. So he should have died.
Chill out.
These Florida, that's a whole other story, man. Have you ever
I've heard these stories, but I'm playing against these
I'm
jokes.
starting to look at this like, yo, man. Like, hey, they were like, these dudes 24-year-old rookies in the league. That mean they were 23-year-old seniors. Like, man, of course, if I was 23, that was my third year.
They were playing
Yeah, I would have been the greatest college player too. That's a whole nother story. I digress. So I go there and I make everything, and I decide not to transfer.
Yeah.
And then later on, I ended up getting kicked off the team. So I was like, well, what did I show loyalty to? I got kicked off the team for trying to fight my coach. That's where we talk about challenging what I'm taught.
Yeah.
And it's been some documentation about it because I tried to make this man jump off a roof, you know what I'm saying, for trying to ruin my life, ruin a kid's life. His name was Michael Veit. And he suspended me. He was only his first year there.
Yeah.
He knew nothing about my story, me keeping my word and stuff like that.
Right.
And they call it Bart Scott's fruitful for beginnings because the ass kicking was coming because he tried to smack an apple out my head. But that's a whole nother story for season 3.
I got you.
This show.
Listen, all right. So, boom. Obviously, you know, like you have this. You're able to persevere through Southern Illinois. You know, I'm gonna fast forward into your career in Baltimore, where obviously you're undrafted. You're in this amazing, one of the best franchises in the league, and one of the most revered defenses. And obviously, you got pillars within those years, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, tell me about kind of being onboarded into that ecosystem, how that affected you. You're a beast mentality, but, you know, undrafted, finding your way onto that roster.
$500 signing bonus. $269 out the taxes. I paid my Sprint bill, bro. I remember like yesterday. The funniest thing when I got there, first of all, Ozzy, you already know. Yeah, the Wiz, the cheapskate. Dude called me, hey, son, you think you want to be a Baltimore Raven? I'm like, yeah. He's like, I got $1,000 for you. I'm like, all right, bro. This dude called me back. Swear to God, this dude called me back. Ozzy, you know you already know. He called me back. Like, it might have been like a half an hour later. Like, you know that 1,000 you got? He's like, man, I got 500. I said, honey, dude.
Yo, man, talking to
Like, 500?
we're talking like
washing your car, son? Like, what are we talking about? Like, you still want to come? Like, yeah, whatever. Meanwhile, I turned down $50,000 from Kansas City because I was taught to pay checks, not checkers. I knew that the Ravens had just won the Super Bowl. They had a great defense, but they were in salary cap hell, and it was going to be an opportunity for a lot of young players to make the team. So I knew I had the opportunity. And kind of fast forward how college helped me and prepared me to be a unique linebacker in the league was the fact that my first year I went in, I was only 195 pounds. I played middle linebacker.
Yep.
The second year, I was still there and played football during a time where they had elements of the option in.
Nice.
So they moved me to free safety.
Nice.
So then I kind of played through my career. I played safety for a year, free safety for a year, rover for a year, linebacker. My school was so trash at the time. When it came to pass rushing downs, I would get down a 3-point stance and rush the passer.
Oh,
So
versatility.
yeah, so Phil Savage tells the story about how he found me. It's almost like finding a water boy, right? Mm-hmm. So we had this because I got kicked off the team. People kind of lost who I was, right? They stopped following me because I played in there. I played against Tony Romo and those guys. So it was decent guys there.
Yeah.
I'm still from the division where Rodney Harrison came from.
Yep.
Also Kurt Warner, all that stuff. So, people kind of forgot who I was, and it was just one guy named T.J. McCray that was like asked the Chicago Bears for my tape. He was like, this dude ain't really nothing to look at. Thank God that other people do their homework instead of taking clip notes, right? So TJ McCray was like, let me see it anyway, right? So TJ McCray lets him see the tape. And he's like, yo, all right. So
keep it on the low.
So he calls Phil Savage, who's the head of college scouting. Phil Savage sends Joe Ortiz down, and all these guys, funny, is all at the Ravens now. They're still there, and they've all been elevated. The calls, Phil Savage ended up becoming the GM for the Cleveland Browns.
Okay.
And I would like to say some of that was based on finding me.
Absolutely.
Right? So,
Golden.
so what happened, he's like, he came and worked me out, and Joe Ortiz was like, whatever, man, because Champaign, Illinois is only two hours away from Southern Illinois.
Okay.
And at that time, Soldier Field was being renovated. And so Chicago was right there. So they see me. Mm-hmm. So like I'm in their backyard.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, Joe Ortiz works me out, right? And like I'm doing my thing, but he's not telling me nothing. So after the workout, listen, first of all, I was the only one there for my pro day.
Yeah.
This dude didn't give me no water.
But you got no rest.
He's trying to break because he didn't care. Like he like, man, whatever. He think he come to just work out some bump.
Got it.
Right? I did 11-2 broad jump, 38-inch vertical, but I hit my arm on thinking I got a 40-inch vertical, but I hit my arm on the web because he made me do my vertical differently. Right? See? Because we don't have no workout facility in Southern Illinois. We ain't like Syracuse. We ain't got. So he worked me out at the student facility thing.
Yeah.
So he made me take chalk on my finger, and I had to jump and touch the wall.
Oh boy.
So of course, first of all, when you jump and you reach and touch the wall, your hand ain't up. You actually have to,
bro.
So I had to tap the wall and put a chalk mark up there. He measured the chalk.
The jungle gym activities y'all had, bro.
He didn't have the thing. So I had to do it, and I hit my arm on the way up. As I jumped up, my arm hit, and I still got a 38.
But that's
41 inch certified. Anyway.
Certified.
So after the workout, he was like, listen, I'm not going to tell you what you did, man. But this was the greatest workout I've had in 5 years. Even since I worked out Kendron Bell a couple years ago from the University of Georgia. So I ended up running 4.51, 40-inch vertical hill, but they kept making me do the 3 box. Remember back then they did the 3 box?
Oh, yeah.
So I did 3.9, right? So they're like, yo, no, hold on, you got to do that again, yo. This is a receiver time.
3.9 is full.
Yeah.
3.9 is out of this world. So when you just said that, I wanted doubt arose in my heart. But this is your show.
It's very funny, right? It's not fake news, real facts, right? So like they made me keep doing it, right? So he goes back and he tells like Phil Savage, he's like, man, push. You gotta go. So they send Mike. They send Mike Smith down the next week. I'm like, yo, man, I just worked out for y'all. Like, no, man, we got to do this again. So for people who don't know or people don't forget, Mike Smith was the linebacker coach for the Ravens, but he was a long-time head coach for the Atlanta Falcons. Dude with the white hair, the random way, right? So he comes down there and works down. He's like, yeah, you fast. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I end up getting. That's actually how I end up getting invited. That's how they found me. So newsflash: the dude from the Chicago Bears, and I don't remember your name because you're not that important. But that year he got fired because the Ravens found me in Southern Illinois, and they were only 2 hours away from me. He told the Ravens I was nothing to look at. Because for a lot of people out there, we're around draft season. And I don't know when you're going to show this, but for people out there to know, this is around draft season.
Yep.
Right? So in the draft, a lot of teams are cheap. So they subscribe to a mass scouting program where they'll share numbers with people because they may not afford or want to send their scouts and spend the money and the revenue to have them go work out every potential prospect. Remember how many colleges it is in the world. They don't want to do that, so they share it. So the Ravens in Chicago shared stuff, but they verified. You know, that's why to this day, I never worry about what somebody else tells me. I verify for myself because I'm a product of that. So going to the Ravens and being able to have an opportunity to play in that, heritage type of franchise was a blessing. I learned a lot. I like to say I went to like the Harvard or Stanford of defense. Right? Yeah. I can talk it, I can walk it, I can explain it, and I can break it down. It was a tremendous experience, but it was tough, man. It was tough, and there was a lot of vets. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Bernardo Harris. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Ed Hartwell. who the year before was drafted by the Ravens in the 4th round, went to the University of Western Illinois and got drafted. It was the starting linebacker there, but he put me to the side and he helped me out while all the other guys were partying and hanging out and all that stuff. I was actually doing my work. But all the things, and that's why I tell people all the time, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You only can connect them looking backwards.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that it was God's plan to get me these necessary skills at this school that I would never, if I went to a big school, I would have never got these skills. I never would have played safety, linebacker, DN. So what happens is when I got to the Ravens, they got kind of like a guy with a skill set that could do a lot of things, and they utilized that. So I was the starting dime. Usually linebackers aren't the starting dimes for the Ravens my rookie year. Then also they worked me along slowly, but they created these things, Rex created these things called Bart games, which basically I'm a standing up defensive lineman. And I'm running line stunts, U games, TE stunts, me games, because I had played defensive end in college.
Working every skill set.
So it kind of helped me out because I was closing the middle and doing radars with Ed Reed when he blitz and the guy runs a shadow cross and I'm the post safety. I come out and grab it. He replaced me there at the corner because of my experience and because I was forced, even though I may not have been the most fluid guy, right? You know what I'm saying? As far as compared to me to like the Earl Thomases of the world, something like that. But
you got a basic starter.
Yeah, because I was forced to have to go to individual and do individual DB drills.
Absolutely.
So you could get DB feet.
Absolutely.
So I had DB feet, I had DN tenacity, and I had middle linebacker type of instincts.
Boy, you had that Voltron flow working, man. You had all things coming together.
And I was gave me $500. I got his ass back. I got him on the say I got his ass back. I made him put the $500 in there too.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
I just made me.
Yeah, so you got it back. You know, you worked up to that, got that re-up season. But you know, I think about, like I said, all those different dynamics, and it's great that you mentioned that. I remember him being a dynamic linebacker.
Thumper.
But you know, but now you have those strong 7, especially I'm telling you, like 4th season on. Obviously, the play starts increasing, stats start going crazy. You know, you're getting some decent bread, which is amazing. Then, boom, the major shift comes, right? So, and it's not like, I want to know who were the real influences, right? Because I kind of like, you know, I get the idea where everybody likes to believe they're self-made, but at the end of the day, it's not a real concept. Meaning, like, somebody has to sign your check. Somebody is feeding your wisdom. Like nobody's. So. I tell people it's like it's a myth.
You might be self motivated.
You know, self-made. No, right? Who signed your first check? Who gave you your first deal, right? So who were the great
encourage?
Who believed in you? So who were those people that shaped you, like when it was discouraging moments?
Well, you know, like, you know, right now we're watching the war, right? And we understand what Russia's doing, right?
Yeah.
And listen, I'm not getting political at all, right? But, you know, they have state TV, and they brainwashed the people, right?
It's real.
So I was brainwashed by my mother. My mother, all the time, she addressed me as Great Scott.
That is fantastic.
She always called me Great Scott, said I was destined for greatness.
And so, like, she beat it
in my head. So, like, she said it so much that I believed it.
Great Scott.
So it's Great Scott.
They don't even know that that's an OG Batman Robin reference right there. Great Scott, Batman.
Yeah, and they used to put that in the newspaper. They were like, Great Scott does it again. That's like, and she just beat it in my head, and I believe this. It takes me back to this, and I'm gonna chop it all up. Quote that Will Smith used to say, right, when he told his father told him, listen, people gonna treat you if you act like a star, they'll treat you like a star, right?
Yeah.
The way you treat yourself is how other people see you.
That's good.
So if you see yourself as great and destined for greatness, people want to see you that way. You manifest it. People don't realize how strong and powerful words are. So when you tell a kid and you talk to them and talk down to them, tell them they're dumb, they're stupid, they're intelligent, they believe that, and they'll never have the strength to go out and try and dare to do something great. You got to dare to be great, right?
There you go.
And daring to be great starts with first saying it, right? The first step to being great is making a decision that you want to be great.
That's it.
And then your words, your actions have to do it, right? And my mom used to say all the time, so 2 things. She called me Great Scott.
Yep.
And she always used to say, shoot for the stars, land on the moon.
Cool.
And when I was working out, when I'm training, that's what I hear.
Yeah.
Whenever I do anything, that's what I hear.
Yeah. Self-talk.
I said, she used to make me, no matter what, if she would mark my paper up, and she will make me write it 57 times. She say, "You see." So I say that to say this: you don't do it to finish. You do it right.
There you go.
Right? You do it until the job is done. Like no matter what it takes, and that's the key to my success.
Boom.
If it takes me 3 times as long as it takes you to get it, it doesn't matter to me because I got it. So at the end of the day, we both at the same place.
So
it may come easier to you, and it goes back to what's made last longer than what's born.
There you go.
So that don't matter to me, bro.
Well, the price though.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm listen. I'm willing to say. People ask me, "How do I link to the league?" Like consistent effort. Part of it is showing up every day. And every day, giving it your all. And like that's the thing, like because we like to do this thing where we pin medals on kids, right? Like we pin medals on kids because they win the Little League World Series because they're gray hair. Listen, success in life is not a sprint; it's a marathon.
Absolutely.
Right? Like you just talked about what Pat McAfee's at, right?
Yeah.
Like
Crazy numbers.
So you see what Pat McAfee is?
Yeah.
He was a punter. If he keeps his trajectory, he'll end up with more money in his bank account than Peyton Manning.
100%.
Right?
Right now,
If
he takes more right now than Adam Schefter.
My point.
Crazy.
Well, $30 million a year.
Yeah.
If he re-ups next time and gets $50 million a year, you'll look up like, hold on, this dude. But people, sometimes we look down on people. That's why I tell people all the time.
That's
listen,
right.
Be courteous and nice to people.
That's it.
Because the same people you see going up are the same people you're going to see going down.
Right, it's a bar. You got to respect every man. So, like, people get that so far in context because we tough, we men, but respect every man.
And football is a beautiful part of that, right?
Yeah.
And I think football is like the microwave of life, right?
Give it to me. Give me this.
Because when you sit there, right, you come in as undrafted free agent, and all the people that look down on you and all that stuff, they steady getting older. And we always laugh, right? Because the closer you get to the front of the plane, right, it's a sign of respect. The closer you are to being out of the plane. Right? So like when you're young, you're looking down on dudes, right?
Yeah.
Oh, this little dude, he ain't this and that. And I had teammates like that thought I was bum salad, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when it click and then when it's my time trying to take advantage of it, right there, I lick for all them. Like we always have teammates. Like you come in, he's a first round draft pick, he's been worshipped, right? Then he starts maybe struggling, not living up to expectations, and then you end up getting the second contract, you start balling, then you jump him. So like when I'm here, then I go here, am I not the same person here? It's easier for this person to remain the same person. It's harder for this person to become a guy that's used to being on the top to being on the bottom. I ain't even gonna say it. You tell the people. What do guys say? Those who are first would be
Last.
okay. Those are
Last.
would be
first.
exactly.
You
So listen, and the meek shall inherit the earth. So I understand that, bro. So I already know I'm gonna get it. Eventually, you can't stop it from me because it ain't yours to get to me.
So let me get your thoughts on this real quick, right? Because we're talking about success. Yeah, everybody wants to be successful. Most people don't understand all the dynamics that it takes. How did success affect you, right? Because you see a lot of guys when they get the bag and they're no longer the same player, right? The hunger ceases to exist. I'll even be honest and say that I never got the bag, but I'm the highest special team player in the league at one point. And it didn't like distort me crazy, but it's something that happened. It was like I was still hungry, but I had different opportunities. But it was like, I'm eating better. Yeah, right. Like so. How did success? How did you have success and still remain hungry?
Because for me, I had to validate it, right? Because everybody didn't agree with it, right? I had a guy, Mike Nolan, that didn't think I was good enough to play. Yeah. Right? They just had this thing with me when I was in Baltimore. They used to say that's Bart being Bart. So Bart being Bart. So I would have a bunch of good plays and I have to play what the hell was he doing? Right? And he'd be like, that's Bart being Bart, right? So Mike Nolan at the time when I got there was the defensive coordinator. He's the one who switched the Ravens from a 4-3 to a 3-4. Right? He used to tell people nah, man, whatever. And Mike Singletary was there, right? And he had this man crush on Ed Hartwell. And he loved him from Ray Lewis and Peter Bower. Yeah. But I didn't get the same level of attention or coaching that those guys got. Right? So when those guys left, I got this coach named Jeff Fitzgerald. Everybody remember him because he used to do the combine all the time. He's like, boom, boom. He like the hype guy. He was like the little hype guy, right? And he became the linebacker coach when Rex Ryan, right before Rex became coordinator, but he was there. But then when Rex came, he became the straight up linebacker coach. Yeah. And he put me in his office one day. He said, listen, man, I think you can play. he said, and I had made some big splash plays, like, help us win a couple games.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm going to get it out of you. He was like, they got this thing in there. They say Bart being Bart. You know what I see when I look at the film? I see a player that is probably the most efficient big playmaker that I've ever that's on this team. I see a guy that makes plays he makes 7 out of 10 plays.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you out to make 8 or 9 out of 10. He was like, I'm gonna get it out of you.
That's a bar. That's a bar. When you think about how people see things different.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody watching the same film, but this one guy can see something totally different.
Yeah. So he coached me. I accepted it, and I thanked him, right? Because that was the first time that somebody had put me aside.
Yeah.
That I came in, I was a special teamer, right? You know what I'm saying? You know how hard it is to change the stripes when that's what they brand you with the scarlet letter, right? They don't know my story. They don't know how I got there. They don't know that, hey, I never really played one position because I went on a team that didn't have stars, right? but what they learned is I could deal with chaos.
Yeah.
The reason I can deal with chaos is because when you go to a smaller school and you're the best player, you're playing against other teams that's better than you.
Yeah.
You're used to a guard being in your face.
Yeah.
You're used to a tight end being able to crack down to you because the people in front of you are not capable of doing their job.
Absolutely.
And now you're going to put me here, a guy that's used to dealing with chaos, people all over the place, people getting to me. I'm going through everything to make that play. I got to work so hard to make that play. You give me a Lonnie Nada? Do you give me Trevor Price? You give me T Sizzle? Man, I'm back there kicking a picnic. Like, man, hold up, man. This is a light brisk little rain. I'm used to being in a tornado.
I'm loving it.
Man, this is barbecue chicken. This is all day. I make this thing on. My life is easy. So it's good to go from hard to easy. It's hard to go from easy to hard, right? It's hard to adjust to that.
Okay.
So he's like, I'm gonna get it out of you, right? So I ball out. First year, like I remember Ray got hurt, and they did this thing where they put my first 10 starts versus his 10 starts, and all my numbers were better. But now listen, he was a rookie.
Yeah.
Either that, I was in my 3rd year.
Okay.
But you know what? Matter of fact, that might not have been different. Because guess what? I got to the league when I was 20. Those dudes, Ray from Florida, he probably was 37 years old. so that's a different thing. So but they did this thing. I played 10 games. I had 125 tackles and 5.5 sacks in 10 games. So then that's when hold up. That's that we might have something here, right?
Yeah.
So the first year I was a full-time starter, went to the Pro Bowl. 9.5 sacks as a middle linebacker, 3 picks, 150 tackles, right?
True.
So one of those games we played the San Francisco 49ers.
No.
Yo, when you talk about
with that booty tie on.
Yeah, when you talk about being locked out, I still got film that. I'm hitting them every play. So I'll say this, right? That was the 2nd year. After I went to my Pro Bowl year, I go to the Hawaii. You've been there plenty of times, right? You know the Lonnie Hotel, right?
Yeah.
Everybody around the pool. He's sitting there talking to Tiki and Rondé.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They ended up, he head coach, right? I go there, and this dude tells me, "Hey, Bart, what are you doing here?" I said, "What I'm doing here?"
Out of here, bro.
I'm like, "Yo, I'm here because what do you mean why I'm here? I'm here because I got 9.5 sacks, 3 picks, 18 tackles for a loss, 150 tackles. That's what I'm doing here." But he's trying to show off for Tiki and Rondé, right? Because at this point, I'm still a young dude. I'm still young.
The ego business.
Yeah, I'm still young. He over there because at this point, Rondé and Tiki are established brands and people. So he over there trying to live it up with them. So that year we played San Francisco. Ooh, you talk about a circle game? Light Frank Gore ass. You thought he got his ass kicked by the boxing match. Ooh, he didn't know what it comes. So that was worse than celebrity boxing. Yeah, worse celebrity boxing, man. He's like, Darren Williams, come back, hit me again, man. This move crazy. Yo, playing his ass out. And every time, every play, right to their bench. That's why I'm here, brother. That's why I was there. He got so bad that this dude turned around. He wouldn't he see me come. Yeah, he want to. You hear me though? You gonna feel me? Don't you ever disrespect me like that? You know what I'm saying?
Coming for the respect.
Yeah.
So
he wasn't quite on the coaches are usually on the field. He knew if he got too close, I would have been the first wheel. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so boom, you're full of confidence. Your whole life has been breathed into you. When I think about transitions, right? And obviously we've been on this narrow road to high performance. That's a narrow road to be able to single in, get great at something. What has been the most difficult transitions? You're in the marketplace and different things. what have been the pain points that you've experienced as you're involved in whatever area?
Well, it's working out, right? I mean, post-career is about managing failure, right? We all fail at something, but at this point, we're trying to learn how to adjust to figure out what we want to be great at. Post-career, we throwing stuff on the wall, seeing what sticks. And, you know, I never really thought I wanted to go into to media.
Yeah.
But it was suggested to me. And what I've learned is, like, when I was in the league, when I was in college, I never thought about going to the league. It wasn't until one of my coaches came to me and he said, I think your skill set and what you do and your combination of skills is what they want in the league. Adrian White, right? Adrian White played actually for Bill Belichick. Not Bill Belichick. Played for Bill Parcells. He played for the Giants, too.
Okay.
He was a safety from the University of Florida, but he had spent some brief time before he left and went to Florida at Southern Illinois playing.
You have an impeccable memory, bro.
Yes.
It's crazy.
So Adrian White told me, he's one to breathe life for me. So like when they told me, hey, I actually had an opportunity the year that Seattle won the Super Bowl to play there. I was coming from my reconstructive surgery on my big toe, and I wasn't ready until like late August. But they wanted me to come out there and maybe be a backup and mentor to Bobby Wagner. At that point, I'm only 31 years old. So but one thing I learned is you have to be able to trust what other people see because we're emotionally invested. So
nice.
I was like, well, at what point do I have an opportunity to make a smooth transition and exit out the game? That was the first time I really had. That was my first and only major surgery. But I knew I had put a lot of damage. Playing linebacker, playing in the time we played, I came in a little bit before you.
Different type. Yeah.
What those head injuries were all about and what that was it. And concern is like, well, I have an opportunity to go work for CBS as an undrafted free agent and be able to be on the stage with James Brown.
Pull it, you just pull it back and be able to see the opportunity.
Tony Gonzalez, I got that. Shannon Sharp, I got that opportunity. And I started off on a smaller show for 1 year, and then they gave me the promotion to the big show.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Sitting in the same seat that now Nate Burleson sits in.
Yep.
And my heart wanted to play football because it was like, okay, I don't want them to tell me when I'm done. And you never want to leave off an injury because you wanted to prove that I still can bowl.
That's right.
People that know that I played 13 games with a torn ligament without my big toe touching the ground. Literally, I played with my toe, my great toe in the air, and I cut off the front of my shoe and had a fake foam thing, and I had 2 pads underneath there because my foot would not move. It had nothing to push off of, so I put stuff underneath it so it could just feel like I'm pushing off. But I could run, and I had to open up and ski start, but I couldn't stop quickly. So if I overran it, I just had to take my shot. So, of course, they think, oh, you got bad film out there. Bart can't run anymore. No, Bart don't have a toe. But instead of doing that, I played 13 games and I ended up tearing another ligament in the other toe. So I had to have total reconstruction. So my toe now doesn't bend because they didn't have enough wire. It just goes here so I can do this. I can't curl it.
I got a finger like that.
Yeah, so that was the end of that. What was the original question?
But just about
the
pain points. What has been the pain points? Yeah, like I said, me and you, we got the same marketplace.
Yeah, so it's been. I started off, and this is the first time in my life that I got the big opportunity. Like I was a first round draft pick.
Yeah.
I mean, I go to CBS. There's only 3 big shows: CBS, ESPN, and Fox. Right? And so maybe NBC really was banging like.
He was on the big stage. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like I fumbled it a little bit because I didn't get the second contract, right?
Yeah.
And they blew the show up because Phil Simms came down out of the booth, Tony Romo.
Yeah.
He's been doing an excellent job.
He's killing it.
Right, so then Phil goes there, exits me out, right? So then I end up becoming the first African-American to host the afternoon drive, taking over from Mike Francesa.
No.
Right? So I'm like, okay, I'm doing my thing here. They got impatient. Mike Francesa came back. So then they moved my spot.
Gotcha.
So I would lose that opportunity.
Yeah.
Right? So then, Mike Francesa is leaving. The fan offers me an opportunity to take the spot back. But now I'm like, you know what? Y'all didn't show me love. So now they Nick Saban me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't believe in me before, but now that Mike's gone and you saw he fizzled out. And now my show at that time, CMB was number 1. Now you love me. Right? So I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm good. So I go to ESPN, but what happens, right? I got to get to the back of the line because even though a lot of the people that I worked with, I came in with a better resume, right? I called Super Bowl 50, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
San Francisco, 126 million people. I had that responsibility,
Bro.
and I was there.
That's-
So now I come here and it's like, okay, Dan Orlovsky is what I do. But meanwhile, none of them has ever done that.
Yeah.
But humility, right? Remember, those who are first will be last, those who are last will be first. So I understand. So I get back and I'm back to the back of the line. It's slowly, curly right now. I'm working my way back up.
Okay.
And then, but this is the thing. This isn't an unfamiliar journey for me
Fantastic.
to get back to the top. So I've been here before. I got scar tissue.
That's right.
I got things I can recall on. So I don't get impatient.
That's excellent.
I don't ever doubt myself.
Excellent.
I just know I can do things better, and I know I can gain for the experience. Right? So
Excellent.
I'm coming. Sugar,
Excellent.
and I'll be there.
Be on the lookout, man. So a couple more things, man. You know, obviously I'm known for this moment in New York sports history. You know, so I always want to ask you.
You're just gonna cheapen that moment. No. Say you're known for the
I'm
but
known
don't
for
say
the greatest play in Super Bowl
You
history.
say that.
100% fact.
Man, just sports history.
You know, but you actually have this moment too, right? But before I get to can't wait and all the energy and the vibes that make that moment so iconic, I gotta ask every guest. You know, when you saw the helmet catch, what were your thoughts? You know, like where were you? What were your thoughts? Because these are the craziest stories I get. So I gotta start asking my peoples, where were you? What were your thoughts? And was there any crazy story?
Well, where was I when I would have catch? Well, first of all, that was the year where y'all hit the little 99-yard little press out joint, right? Because I feel like that's like the roles should be reversed.
Well, that's 2012. Them on Victor Cruz.
Okay.
I'm awake.
Okay. So 08, I'm in Baltimore. I'm supposed to be in that Super Bowl. No. We had a whack year that year. That was 2009. I was supposed to be in that Super Bowl. 2008 was the undefeated year. That was the year I threw the flag in the stands, got kicked out, got fined $25,000.
That was the pictures, right?
Right, 20 because they cheated. We were supposed to beat them, and so I hated them. So actually, I was rooting for. I was hoping the guy baby Jesus. I was praying. For him. You know what I'm saying? First I was like, yo, that had to touch the ground. Like, hold on, it's no way in hell. Like, I don't know. Listen, so what happened? The ball was about to come down. The Holy Spirit just came to them. Like, like, this is moment, Jesus. This is moment. This said, it's fast. It's not skeptical. Like when we did the sports science joint, that's not even supposed to be possible. You're not supposed to be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I know you got a little ab game, but just a little snap back, it wasn't supposed to be like that. It was something that put you in something like navel. You know what I'm saying? Push you back. If you were here and he was there, it was just enough. And Rodney Harris is a little strong dude. We knew he took the HGH. We know he got called.
Those are 5 HGH.
Yeah, he got called with the HGH, right? So we knew he was trying to put, he had the strength to pull that out. You know what I'm saying? But your fingertips is sticky. I don't know what happened on your helmet, what you had on it. All that. It was like the perfect storm.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy thing is, right? That we all know when people ask you and they say like these iconic moments when you did things you don't remember. Like it's like those are the moments like that was meant for you. It was for you. It's for you, and it's nothing that nobody can do about it. Right. They could have been sitting there. Could have been 20 people punching. The ball would have somehow gripped it, stuck it to your face, man, and you would have caught it with your face,
bro. So everything your whole life talks about, right? You know, like you go through your process, the adversity. I call it the pain. I call it the perseverance, and I call it the providence, right? The promise. There are certain things that's just for you, right? But also recognizing that there's a process, there's a journey, there's all these particular steps that maybe are uncomfortable. The crazy thing about, you know, your awareness and your belief is obviously what sets you apart, continues to put you in lane for these crazy opportunities that you're still out here killing the game in the media space. All right, I gotta get into can't wait, right? Because when I think about, you know, like that's this iconic moment, I still randomly visit can't wait on YouTube.
Yeah.
So like obviously the energy's crazy. You up against, you know,
there's people that you their daddy, so you don't look at them like we look at them. You're like,
hey, listen,
we beat them on
New England. I got nothing but hugs. I got love on tap. We here,
Look, look right. This is what you're supposed to say. Never talking about it. Bill, Tom, who's the captain? I'm the captain.
I'm the captain now.
I'm the captain. It's my ball. You dominate everybody. I'm the captain.
Listen,
you their daddy.
I told you I'm coming back. I've been out here in, you know, the trenches raising kids for a long time.
Okay.
So this is the coming out party. We're gonna ask, you know, we're gonna get naughty a little bit.
Yeah, but I forgot.
Tell me about that moment, right? And obviously, I think you're as stellar as your career was, that was the moment where everybody saw, like, this dude's different.
Yeah, yeah.
So, like, what was that, and what is going into that? I know it's not something that you like you feel the need to talk about, but you know that it's yours.
Well, like, this is the thing, right? Like, never feared any man.
Yeah.
To never fear any man means you never fear any team. So coming to a place like New York, coming to the Jets, you know, I was comfortable where I was, but it was the belief in the Rex. It was the love for him. That I wanted my journey, my story to be linked with his, right? Because his story was similar to mine, right? When I went there, he was the D-line coach. They used to let him do the blitz packages, but they weren't showing him the love that he deserved, right? He was responsible for a lot more, right?
Yeah.
But he's the son of Buddy Ryan, right? All that kind of stuff. But he wasn't given the respect or getting the respect. People loved him, revered him in there. He was the fun room, right? He was the room, like, you go in their room, you know how it is. You go in certain meeting rooms, wide receiver room, linebacker room, it might just be a board there. And he had, like, posters, pictures of girls. And, like, they used to do this game where they gambled, and it was buckboard. And it's like, just touch the board to fact.
I know.
Yeah,
that's old in the film.
Yeah.
Everything's clean now.
Yeah, they grew laughing, having fun, and all that type of stuff. So, like, I watched him bust his ass and get the respect. And in the first year that Harbaugh was there, like, it was almost a couple of mutinies because everybody was so disappointed that Rex didn't get the head coaching job. So Rex stayed on as the defensive coordinator.
Okay.
Instead of getting the job, he stayed on as defensive coordinator, and we played for him. We played for him to get a job.
Love it.
Right? And we were 13-3 that year. You know what I mean? We should have won it all, but you know, it didn't happen that way. A lot of teams can say that every year, but that was probably the best team, definitely the most dominant defense I've ever been on. I think we had 61 sacks or whatever. But
Ravens D.
What it was is just wanted to link my story to him. So coming to New York, like, I'm a Raven.
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking about? We scared of them?
We bullies out
Yeah,
there.
yo, right there. That's what we talking about. Little Poindexter right there, these little nerds. That's what we talking about. Right, so like coming here, like never had that mentality because when you think about the teams that have had success against the Patriots, who are they?
York Giants
and the Ravens. Right. So I'm coming from that.
Pedigree.
I'm coming from that. Like, yo, what? We that deal too.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? So coming over here, like the hard part was changing the mentality of the people that had the scar tissue that had been tormented from Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. I don't know that. Like I played against them once or twice, whatever. Wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So coming over here, like, they carrying all this energy. I'm like, yo, like,
about to get these boys.
the first time we played them, we beat them. We hit Brady 21 times.
Yeah.
Then, okay, we lost up in Foxborough. Okay, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
But the next year, which is my second year was a can't wait year, we had beat them too.
Yeah.
And then they embarrassed us on Monday Night Football. But that was the thing, right? It was a chess match. Like, sometimes they had a great game plan that take away what we did, gave us a lot of trouble. Then Rex would go. That's what I loved about it, because Rex was a defensive guru too.
No doubt.
But we didn't have the quarterback that they had, right? But but at the end of the day, we had a defense that was right, could make that quarterback just like your defense look very basic, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there, right, and we're 11-5, bro. And you watch the TV, we're 11-5. So just imagine how you believe yourself. First of all, athletes are the most confident people in the world, right? So we believe in ourselves.
Absolutely.
But we were validated to be able to think that we can win. We had beat them, so it's 1-1.
Absolutely.
We 11-5, bro. And people are saying, "Oh my God, we have no chance." Like, bro, we won. You know it's 1-1, right?
Yeah.
Like we already beat them. Like, so
Rubber match, bro.
So right, so it's rubber back, right? This is no way in hell. So like, we hear this all week.
Got it.
Hot. Meanwhile, we had just got embarrassed. So what happens when you get embarrassed? You go back, you were looking out for retribution. You want blood. So we was already high on smoke anyway. Then Dennis Byrd, God rest his soul, came in. Dennis Byrd came in and gave us a speech.
Gotcha.
You know, for people who don't know Dennis Bird's the jet that was a defensive lineman that got paralyzed and taught himself how to walk again.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
I remember.
So Dennis Byrd comes in, he walking now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's like, yo,
we need to get this.
with the smoke. You know what I'm saying? So he got it jacked up on Mountain Dew, son. So then when we win, like we did with, listen, and first of all, listen, what did we do the week before? We beat Peyton Manning. Like what do we work? Really?
Just took out
no shot. We just beat Peyton Manning. You tell us
two goats back to back.
You tell us we just beat Peyton Manning. You tell us we can't beat Tom Brady. and we already beat them this year. Man, you high, stay off the weed.
All right, so by this, obviously y'all take down the title, you get the sound.
Yep.
You want 1,000.
I'm 100,000. First of all, like this on them, like, cause at the time that they found me, I literally was over there fighting with the mascot. I was trying to whoop the mascot ass, cussing him up, like, yo, I'm gonna knock you, I'm about to chin check you, son. Yeah, all that smoke. Yeah, so I'm chasing it. I'm with the smoke with him. You know what I'm saying? Then Bart, I'm like, what? Like, yo, yeah, you want Sal Powell want to talk to you. I know Sal Powell from Bright, yo, he covered Baltimore.
Yeah.
I'll go over there, you know what I'm saying? I'm jacking on my dude. I come over like a plane, I land like a helicopter. I don't know what that was. See, but I grew up, you know what I'm saying, in the 80s with you.
No question.
What was in the 80s? G.I. Joe. How did the planes land in G.I. Joe? They came down. They had the thing. The jets came. So I thought, and so I'm flashing back. Like, my whole life flashed through my eyes.
Yeah.
That's what Jack and my mom do. I don't even know where I'm at. I'm out of I'm just looking for smoke.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So people like, why he so mad?
That was your energy.
You know, like, why he so mad that they won? First of all, you know, put some respect on my name. Second of all, this same team that cost me $30,000 when they cheated us out of a victory 3 years ago.
Okay.
Two, I don't even really like these dudes anyway, because it's like they like the football version of Duke. You know what I'm saying? They just got punchable. Everybody over there, punchable faces.
Nope.
Everybody over there got a punchable face.
I'm with you.
So go over there with that, right? Sal Powell hit me, and like everything that I heard just came out. And people are like, oh, was that scripted? No, you can't script like that.
No.
And why people, I think, resonate with it so much is because they've all been that underdog. They've all been there, like when people talk stuff, and then the greatest feeling is to hear that stadium shut up, that arrogant stadium, hush, calmness, quietness, right? It's better because it's there. Right? These same people calling you stupid and stuff and warm up, the same smoke, they got their head down, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The same people that was at your hotel with the bullhorn trying to keep you up all night, pulling your fire alarm, all of them there, now they got to deal with that. They got to live in that.
No question.
They got to live in that. The Jets or whatever, the same old Jets. No, like same old Jets, bro. All I know about the same old Jets, when I came, we won. So, that's the same old Jets I do.
No
the
doubt.
Jets that you know, my past will determine my future.
Yeah.
Their past will determine my future. So being able to do that, you know, man, was all about it. You know, this was before social media really hit. You know what I mean?
That's what they'll recognize about our moments. Like, I'm pre-social media, but you know, when I think about that moment, it was a moment that took the NFL brand higher. You know, like there's a few moments that take the brand higher, and that's what everybody's looking for. That can't wait. But as I'm listening to, you know, your story, bro, I'm super excited. I can't wait for you to be back on the top. You know, your confidence. It's like I said, we're not polar opposite. I'm super confident. You have to be confident to excel at this level, but it's infectious, and it shows me why you've had success everywhere you went, man. So can't wait to continue to watch you shine at ESPN. Can't wait to watch your businesses off the field continue to flourish, and can't wait till we keep wrapping up and doing great things, getting great things done. Hey man, this was a wrap. I thank you for laying the groundwork for what's to come with Catch the Moment, man. Any last words?
We in it together, baby. We gonna go ahead and get that Pat McAfee money.
We're gonna do this.
That's your boy.
We're gonna do this. Listen, what I need everybody to do, hit the link on YouTube, subscribe, hit the website, check the content. Let's build something together, because we're gonna continue to deliver value. I need y'all to check in with me next week. Catch the Moment.